Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Kelly Spencer. I'm the Program Manager for PetPro. I'd like to welcome all of you to today's webinar. Today we're talking about the pet care industry. We'll talk a little bit about industry trends and why this market offers an opportunity to agents. We'll talk a little bit about the consumers, which are the pet owners that drive the market, and we'll discuss who the players are, the pet care professionals who provide the goods and services for the consumers. We'll also talk a little bit about their business insurance needs and some things to look out for when placing coverage for these risks. So just a couple technical notes before we begin. The phone lines have been muted so everybody can hear the presentation. And if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type them into the questions drop-down on the webinar panel. And at the end of the presentation, we will answer them as time allows. If we don't have the opportunity to get to your question, don't worry, we'll respond to you individually via email. So despite the recession, the pet care industry continues to grow, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. The American Pet Products Association estimates that Americans spend about $48 billion on their companion pets in 2010, which is a $10 billion increase since 2005. And they further estimate that in 2011, we'll spend over $50 billion on our pets. So the take-home message here is that people love their pets, and even when times are tough, they don't seem to reduce spending on them. So where are they spending their money? Pet owners are spending money on grooming, boarding, live animal purchases, supplies, over-the-counter medicines, veterinary care, and pet food. The bottom line here is even in a recession, pets are a priority. So who are the people providing the goods and services? When you look at this, considering the consumer spending, you can see that there are 4 basic categories of pet professionals: medical, welfare, services, and retail. So let's talk about these segments in a bit more detail. Under medical, you see veterinarians and veterinary hospitals. The smaller veterinary practices may have 1 or 2 doctors and 2 or 3 support staff, but larger veterinary centers are going to have many more doctors, and some of them highly specialized, for example, in veterinary ophthalmology, orthopedics, and even oncology. Typically, these large centers have extensive facilities with sophisticated diagnostic and surgical equipment. For example, you'll see digital x-ray equipment, ultrasounds, MRIs, even PET scanners and blood transfusion equipment. And the support staff in these large centers are often similarly specialized. The welfare group includes organizations that are dedicated to rescuing unwanted and abused animals for rehabilitation and adoption. The group consists of SPAs, shelters, and rescues. Now, there's a great deal of overlap regarding what each entity might do, and that usually depends on the organization's mission and their resources. But here's what we typically see. Rescues are generally groups of individual volunteer foster members with no specific facilities, but with a common leadership. They can be local with just a few members, or they can be national with 100 members or more. Individuals will often keep rescue animals in their homes, and they'll get the animals the medical treatment they need, and they'll facilitate adoptions, and they may also transport animals, either locally or regionally. And the shelters we see are typically town or county-wide organizations. They have kennel facilities where they house the animals, rehabilitate them there, and adopt them. They typically employ a core staff, but can also rely heavily on volunteers. Some of them employ veterinarians to vaccinate and spay or neuter animals. These facilities generally have public access. They sometimes offer training and education programs, and they'll also have off-site adoption events as well, along with fundraising events. Now, the SPCAs we typically see are large. They're regional, and they usually occupy extensive and modern facilities. The leadership is typically a board of directors, and they're highly involved with the public through outreach and training and fundraising and educational programs. Some of these facilities even have crematories and cemeteries. And a lot of them have mobile adoption services and low-cost medical and surgical programs. The services segment includes boarding and grooming facilities. That's the largest segment under there. And boarding facilities will take companion pets into their care for extended stays while the owners are away. And they sometimes offer daycare while owners are at work. They don't typically offer medical services, but they'll sometimes provide training. Groomers usually take pets in for the day for services, but there are also mobile groomer services where vehicles with specialized equipment travel to clients' homes. Both boarding facilities and groomers can have a retail component as well. And then that leads us to pet sitters and dog walkers. Pet sitters can take animals into their homes, or they might go to clients' homes. And sitters generally take care of the house while owners are gone, watering plants or taking in the mail. Dog walkers typically have regular clients, and they have daily access to clients' homes for walks. Many of the dog walkers and pet sitters we're finding don't have insurance and are just beginning to understand the need for this kind of coverage. And the last is pet retail. It's a pretty broad category. They can be small pet boutiques or large pet supply stores. The boutiques typically sell specialty products, and the larger stores often have facilities for grooming, training, or adoption. There are some boutiques that actually make their own specialty treats and supplies. So what makes this a good opportunity for agents? Well, the market offers a broad range of professionals with specialized business insurance needs. And as we've seen, it's one of the few markets where we're seeing growth despite a difficult economy. But there are some challenges. Pet care professionals face challenges in finding the right coverage for their business. The generic products are simply inadequate for them. The industry is also evolving, and businesses are converging, and this creates hybrid businesses offering multiple services. Liability isn't necessarily limited to the market value of a companion pet, and businesses offering multiple services require special coverages. So you'll want to be aware of coverage gaps. When choosing a product for your client, it's important to know if they're covered for some of the typical losses that we see, but might not be addressed in the generic small business solutions that are out there. So some things to consider. If your client is a veterinarian, do they have professional liability? And are their veterinary technicians covered under that liability? Is their specialized equipment protected? And do they have adequate workers' compensation coverage? If your client is an SPCA, are their volunteers covered under the GL? And what about fosters and offsite adoptions? They all do fundraising, and they're all involved in the community. Are these activities covered? And are board members protected? If your client is a boarding facility, is their fencing covered? Are veterinary bills covered for animals that are injured in their care? And will expenses be paid if they need to relocate their client's animals? And if your client is a pet boutique, is their stock covered? Are they covered for business income from dependent properties? Do they have sewer and drain backup coverage? And do they have outdoor sign coverage? And are they protected against employee dishonesty? And if your client is a pet sitter, will they be covered if a dog escapes? And will they be reimbursed for key and lock replacement? So the bottom line is your client covered? PetPro is a revolutionary all-lines insurance program for pet professionals and a product of NIP programs in partnership with an AM Best A-rated partner carrier. There are several things that make us unique. PetPro is the result of 3 years of market research and development with legal and industry experts in the industry. The team here at NIP has specific experience in the pet care industry, bringing a deeper understanding of your clients' needs and industry trends as well. The coverages we offer were developed exclusively for this industry from the ground up, and we have highly competitive pricing. Why is PetPro great for agents? PetPro offers the opportunity for you to capitalize on what we've seen is a growing industry in a soft market. We offer marketing support through our customized agency tool system, which is kind of cool. It allows you to co-brand NIP programs, sales literature with your agency's information. We have aggressive pricing for the right accounts, and we have underwriters who really understand this industry. We offer all the standard coverages: property, general liability, auto, workers' compensation, inland marine and crime, D&O and EPLI, along with some specialized coverages. For example, veterinarians' professional liability, pet professionals' professional liability, lost pet recovery and reward, crisis management expenses, veterinary license defense expenses, and adoption and special events coverage. Our mission is simple. We seek to help agents and brokers understand this market and provide you the support you need to help capitalize on this industry. We make you the expert. So who is NIP? Well, NIP is ranked among the 100 largest specialized business insurance and risk management intermediaries. We have a focus on developing creative insurance solutions and providing highly personalized service. We have more than 20 years of experience developing and managing successful business insurance programs for niche markets, and our programs are underwritten by our AM Best rated carrier partners. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. If you have further questions, you can email me directly. My email is on this contact page, kspencer@nipgroup.com. If you enter a question now, we didn't get to it here today, we're happy to answer it via email for you, and we'll also post it on our website. We will be posting this webinar up on our site